Hi, and welcome to the Jenspiration Conversation. My name is Jennifer, and if this is the first time one of my videos has landed in your feed, I very much welcome you to this space. It means that the universe's algorithm has put this video in your feed for a reason. It means that your spirit team, source, whoever you believe in, has said, hey, there's something in here for you, whether it's the entire video or just a little nugget of information. So I welcome you here. Returning viewers and subscribers, my deepest appreciation for returning to sit and have another Jenspiration conversation. I am feeling the reciprocity of the energy that you're sharing with me, and I am so grateful, beyond words grateful. So thank you for being here. This channel was created to share spiritual concepts, spiritual ideas, spiritual things, but I very much wanted to ground them in reality. So street spirituality has kind of become the brand here. So if that sounds like you, then you have found the right place. Today's topic is something that I have experienced a few times. And I was meditating last night and I was thinking to myself, you know, what could I do for a video that will help the collective? And this topic just came to me. So I'm going to title it Almost Doesn't Count. And I know some of you are sitting there going, yeah, yep, I've had those experiences. I've had the almost doesn't count. So when you think in terms of the universe and energy and frequency, I've said this before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it in this video. Everything is energy, all right? Everything is energy, and everything is a frequency, and everything vibrates at a certain frequency. As you awaken and learn and grow and evolve and heal and all of those things, your frequency changes and you rise. It's why people call it ascending, right? You're raising your vibration to meet your higher self and to close the gap between you and source energy, to strengthen your relationship with the universe. So the universe and frequencies and energy doesn't understand sarcasm or half-ass attempts. Energy flows where energy goes. That is with intention, that is with action, that is with thought. If you are vibrating down here in shame and drama and pity and self-loathing, then that is the frequency that the energy is going, that the universe is going to match you at. It's going to bring that energy because that's where you're vibrating. It doesn't understand that you don't want that. If you are sitting in that and living in that and talking about that and feeling that and constantly thinking that the next thing is going to be dramatic and bad for you, then it is going to be dramatic and bad for you, because that's what the universe understands. It understands your frequency. So when you vibrate away from those frequencies and you rise up, then the universe is like, bet, like, we'll meet you there. So back to today's topic, almost doesn't count. The intent might be there, but the action isn't there. So the universe is still confused. It doesn't know. It's reading your intent and it's waiting for the action. But if the action's not there, then the universe is like, oh, okay. Oh, your intent is there, but your action isn't. Okay? So you're sending out a mixed signal or a stagnant signal. I'm going to give you an example. I was dating someone 2 years ago, casually for 6 months. I don't call it a relationship because I can't dignify it with the title relationship. This was an individual who was half in and half out. His intention, I believe, was there. I think he intended. I believe he intended to care about me, and I believe he intended to love me, but the action never matched. And 2 years ago, I was a very different person than I am now. Like the frequency I was emitting 2 years ago is very different than now. Right before our second date, another date that I had to fully plan, complete sidebar, I arrived at his home to pick him up because we were going on a bit of a road trip. And I walked in the door and, we said our hellos, and immediately he said, I almost bought you flowers. What are you supposed to do with that? As the person on the receiving end of, I almost bought you flowers, what am I supposed to do with that? And the me from 2 years ago completely let him off the hook. I was like, oh, that's nice. And he's like, well, are you mad? Mad? Why would I be mad? You almost did something for me, but you didn't. Like, why would I be mad? Like, ding, 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 red flag, red. Like, it should have been alarm bells going off in my head, but whatever, it wasn't. So we proceeded along our date, and part of the date is we went to another city on a road trip, and we went to IKEA because I own a home staging business, and I was going there anyway, and he was like, I'll join you and let's make it a second date. Okay, that was our date. So we went to IKEA for part of the date in a different city. And there was part of the IKEA journey where we separated for a bit. I don't know. I was talking to someone and he meandered away or whatever. When we came back together again, just a few moments later, he said, I saw a really cool piece of decor. He's like, I almost picked it up for you. And I was like, oh, well, where is it? He's like, never mind. He's like, I don't remember. It was back there somewhere. So in the span of a few hours, this man almost did two things for me. He almost bought me flowers, and he almost picked something up that he thought I would like. So the intentionality was there, but the action wasn't. So it's a very mixed signal, not only to the universe, but to the person on the receiving end of that. So if you are someone who operates that way and like, oh, I almost picked up dinner for you, or, oh, I almost put gas in the car, honey, but I didn't. Or I almost was going to stop and get the kids just to give you a break, but I didn't. Those almosts doesn't count. Okay? And I think individuals may say, I almost did this to make themselves almost look good, right? There's so much almost, there's so much, we're close to doing something for you, but we didn't. Okay, so again, it comes back to a frequency. It's the frequency of, I got the intention to do it, but I stopped myself and I pulled back. So I'm confusing you and I'm confusing the universe. Okay, so it's this weird, sticky, stagnant energy that you find yourself in. Now, if you take another person out of the equation and you think of it in terms of yourself, I almost applied for that job, but I didn't because, and then here comes your ego telling you all the reasons why you shouldn't apply for that job. Or we almost went to that place on vacation. We almost bought that house. I almost, wrote that book. I almost bought that camera to go take pictures. I almost wrote that song, but I didn't. So you are sending out a frequency of intentionality to the universe, and the universe is like, yes, 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 you're feeding into your soul. You have the intention, go do the thing, and then you cut yourself off from the thing. So you've just created a very mixed signal to the universe. It has no idea. because it doesn't respond to that. It responds to a frequency. So an almost frequency is shaky and unstable. And then if it's not met with the action, the universe is like, okay, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're almost doing something. You're almost calling that person. You're almost texting that person. You're almost buying that person flowers. You almost brought home dinner. Doesn't matter. Almost doesn't count. Almost is a half thought. Almost is I have 1 foot in, but 1 foot out because I'm unsure, or I'm scared, or I am just completely lost and think I should do this, but I didn't do it, and now I'm overthinking, and are you mad at me because I didn't do the thing? You want to talk about murky waters and complete lack of intention. The intentionality is the best word for it. If you don't follow through on your intention, it's an almost. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't count. Spiritually, it doesn't count. Energetically, it doesn't count. And the universe isn't keeping track in a little notebook of all your almosts. Oh, Jennifer almost did this, or Joe almost did this, or Jennifer's date almost showed up, or Jennifer's date almost bought her flowers. The universe isn't keeping track of that. It doesn't understand it. It only understands a frequency that is emitting what you want and desire and what you're heading towards, okay? Or what you're heading away from. The same can be true as the opposite. Like, if you are stepping away from something, but you're stepping away from it with an intentionality and action, it understands that 1000%. So however you're moving through the universe, it only operates and understands the frequency that you're emitting. And half-assed, half attempts, almost attempts aren't that. So that's essentially the video I wanted to make today, was just to say, look, if you find yourself in a situationship, for example, that is an almost with a giant flashing sign pointing towards an inconsistent, mucked up frequency. Situationships seem to be really prevalent. I hear people say, I'm sort of talking to this person. I'm sort of seeing, we're sort of talking. We sort of do this. We sort of date. We once in a while. Okay. That's murky. And the universe doesn't understand that. The universe has no idea what a situationship is. All it knows is you are putting out a sort of interested frequency, so it's going to match you with a sort of interested frequency back. That's it. That's all it understands. If you operate your life with intentionality, then that's what it understands. So listen, I'm not knocking situationships. If a situationship is what you want, and if you're thriving in it, great. Not here to judge, just here to share that an almost relationship vibrates at an almost frequency of a match. The universe just doesn't get it. It doesn't understand that. And the same can be said maybe for a job. The people who are like, well, I'm just doing this because it pays the bills. Okay. 1,000% understand that, because it's hard out here. It's hard to find work that is both fulfilling, that you can do with intention and purpose, and have it match you, because the world has gotten expensive. I understand that. But when you get stuck in that frequency, then that's what the universe will continue to match you with. If you don't change your circumstances, or you almost applied for that promotion, or you almost applied for that other job, it doesn't understand that. It'll just keep you in that frequency of, this job is good enough for now. It almost makes me happy. My marriage almost makes me happy. My hometown, my city almost makes me happy. Well, then that's what you're just going to keep getting matched with, an almost frequency. That's all it is. Everything is a frequency, and everything is energy. And so if you're floating around the world in one of those things, then that's what you're going to get back. So before I close, I did take some notes during my meditation last night, and I just want to make sure. I'm going to pause for a quick drink. Just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wrote down, when you set out with the intent to do it, that has a high potential, but it never converts. That's what I wrote here. The intention has really high potential, but it never converts to matching energy because you didn't follow through with it. So high potential equals it doesn't convert if you don't follow through with it. Yeah. And the reason I just put down here, some of the reasons that we do have these almost frequencies is it does have a bit of a fear of failure and a little bit of self-sabotage tied to it. It's, fear of success is a real thing. People do fear being successful because that would send them into a whole different vibration. And then they're like, if I'm successful, I can't complain and bitch about the same things I used to. So it's like, like, what if I am successful? Well, then I'm not going to do it. Fear of success is an almost frequency, right? You should be doing the thing. You should be saying the thing or making the thing or expanding the thing or growing the thing. But the fear of failure or the fear of success can hold you back to that almost frequency, right? So then you can be like, well, yeah, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to fail anyway. So let me just hang out in this almost frequency. Let me just hang out down here and I'll just continue to vibrate. And then I can bitch about the same things that I always bitch about. Look, I am not calling anyone out, like totally guilty over here of doing some of those things. There's lots of jobs I didn't apply for because I had really low self-worth. And when I was a corporate recruiter for over 2 decades, I was running a very large territory all by myself. And people kept saying to me, why aren't you moving into leadership? Or why aren't you moving into, a more of a consultant role? Or why aren't you? And it was a fear that was holding me back. I did once. I almost applied for a job. I filled it, like the internal application. I filled it all out, but I never hit send because it was this almost frequency. One night I got up the gumption, I filled out the application, and then I sat back and I went, nope. And I deleted it and I just left the page. So I've done it. Absolutely done it. And I know we're all guilty of the almost frequency, but it doesn't count. Okay? The universe isn't keeping track of our almosts. So if you find yourself in an almost frequency, pause. Maybe there's a lesson in the pause. Pause, because when you are truly ready to step up, step forward, do the thing, say the thing, make the thing, go to the thing, you will do that. And if you're like me and you found yourself in a relationship where someone almost did something for you, exit stage left. Because someone who tells you that they almost did something will never actually do the thing. Because I dated that man for 6 months, casually for 6 months. He never once bought me flowers, not once. He never once brought me coffee. He never once put gas in my car. He never once, picked up dinner on his way home. He never did those things. He just kept telling me that he almost did. And it became a running joke. I'm like, oh, did you almost put gas in my car? He's like, yeah, I did. How'd you know? I was like, okay, well, we've reached a point where this is a little ridiculous. And I did. I exited stage left. So when you feel you're ready, you will exit stage left as well. Because guys, you are worth more than an almost. You are worth the full commitment. We all are. We're worth the full intention. And I want that for you. Okay? I want that for you in all aspects of your life, in what you do and the intentionality that's coming to you. I almost texted you last night. I almost called you last night. Sorry. Almost doesn't count. Mic drop. All right, my friends. Thank you for spending your time and energy with me here at the Jenspiration Conversation. I am always grateful for this beautiful reciprocity. If you feel like commenting below on some of your almosts, I'm creating a collective here that's really supportive of one another. Also, lastly, if you feel called, I do have a podcast. I'm in season 2 of that podcast. It's available on all your favorite streaming services, streaming platforms. It's called Jenspire'd The Podcast, if you're interested. Until next time, I wish you well, and I'll see you later. Bye.